Okay, first of all, this video is for people who have already learned how to use and conjugate passive verbs. Now, if you haven't, I'll link a video in the description, but it is an important requirement for today's lesson. Passive verbs have another important usage that's not really obvious when you first look at them. Okay, first of all, here's a very brief review of active voice and passive voice. Active voice is whenever the subject of a sentence is also the one doing the action. So you can have Billy eats the cheeseburger, and Billy is the subject of the sentence, and Billy is also doing the action of eating the cheeseburger. That's active voice, and that's most sentences you're going to make. But passive voice is a bit different, and that's when the subject of the sentence is instead the object of an action. By that I mean the subject is the one being affected by the action, not the one that's doing the action itself. So an example of this would be the sentence, "The hamburger was eaten by Billy." Now, in that sentence, the subject is the hamburger, and it is the object of an action being eaten. Now, this sort of speaking is very awkward, and although it makes sense, we don't really do it much in English just because it's not the most natural way to say something like that. And in Korean as well, although you can make sentences like that, they're usually not necessary and can actually sound quite awkward. So then use active voice whenever possible, because passive voice sentences can sound awkward in Korean just like they can in English. Now, passive verbs are commonly used whenever they're adjectives. And in fact, when they're used as adjectives, they're necessary. That's the best way to use them. For example, you could say, "I wrote a book in Korean." Active voice. But how would you say a book that was written in Korean without using the passive voice? Was written. So let's go into a little bit more detail then. When else are passive verbs or passive voice, when else is it used? Well, they are super common when you want to express can or can't. To demonstrate that, let's look at one of the most common passive verbs. 보이다 means to be seen or to be visible, and it's the passive version of the active verb 보다, to see. For example, if you wanted to say that you can't see the TV because someone's blocking your view, well, you wouldn't use something like 못 보다, which literally means I can't look, I can't see. Although it doesn't say that it's your fault you can't see it, it does imply that you simply are the one who is unable to do it, whatever action comes after, in this case, 보다. So simply, I cannot see. So then using 보이다 instead of using 보다 here, 못 보다, shows that you are not at fault. Because if someone's blocking the TV, it's not that I can't see something, it's that something's wrong with the TV itself, or me being able to watch it. In this case, the TV itself is not visible. The TV cannot be seen because of some other external factors. It's not my fault. So that's what passive voice can imply. But if you were to say 못 보다, it would simply imply just I can't see it. Maybe I'm busy. Maybe I'm not available to watch the TV right now. Now, this sort of regular active speech does not imply that it's my fault, but it doesn't push that away to something else. So let me give you another example using the very common verbs 하다, active, and 되다, passive. 못해요 simply means I can't do it. Now, it's not necessarily my fault, but it's also not necessarily someone else's fault, unless I give a reason. Maybe I can say, I can't do it because I'm tired, or I can't do it because it's impossible. Whatever your reason is, you're not really implying anything other than I cannot do it. 되다, literally to become. This one can also be used as the passive version of 하다. So this means something does not work. Something's not working right. So if you say, 안 돼요, it doesn't work, then that's implying not just that I can't do it, but it's actually out of my control. The thing itself, whatever it is not working, but it's not necessarily because I am otherwise incapable of doing that. Now, I'm not talking about the expression 안 돼요 when it's used to mean no. This will make more sense once we add a verb to it. I just want to introduce it to you briefly right now. So again, by using passive voice, you can imply that something isn't your fault. And by doing that, you're expressing, I can't do it, or I can do it, like that. Say your friend asks you to open the door, but it's locked. You have two options you could say to express that you can't open it. You could say 못 열어요 or 안 열려요, using the passive verb 열리다 to be opened. The first one, 못 열어요, simply means I cannot open it. Maybe my arms aren't strong enough. Maybe I'm really tired. Whatever the reason, you're not implying any sort of reason specifically unless you add it to the sentence. But if you were to say 안 열려요, 문이 안 열려요, that's expressing I can't open it, as in the door itself won't open. It does not open, as in it's not my fault. It doesn't matter how strong I am. It doesn't matter what I'm doing right now, or if I'm too tired or anything, the door itself won't open. I can't open it. Now let's look at these in the past tense. 열었어요 and 열렸어요. So this one, 열었어요. I opened the door. It's active voice, so it means someone directly did it. Probably me, but it could be someone else. 열었어요. Someone opened the door. I opened the door. Versus 열렸어요. 문이 열렸어요. The door opened. Not that I did it. In fact, it doesn't really matter who did it. The important thing is that the door itself opened. So again, using passive voice takes away that emphasis from the person or thing that did something and simply says it doesn't matter. So the door opened. It doesn't matter who opened it, just that it happened. But we're not done. I have two more examples. Let's take a look at the verb 찍다 and 찍히다 for to take or to be taken, for example, like a photo. 안 찍어요. I'm not taking a photo. Maybe I don't want to. It doesn't really matter. I'm not taking it. Versus 안 찍혀요, passive. This one doesn't have to do with me. Simply the photo itself, it's not getting taken. The phone maybe isn't working. Whatever the reason, it's not my fault. Okay, and I have one more example. Here's one that actually only translates well into English if you understand this concept of meaning can or can't. 집중하다, to concentrate, to focus, and 집중이 되다, literally to be focused, to be concentrated. 집중이 안 돼요 would mean I can't focus, not it's not focused. Now this again will be some external factor. Perhaps someone is listening to music really loud or talking on their cell phone, or some sort of reason that makes you unable to focus. Versus saying something like 집중 못해요. I can't focus. You simply yourself cannot focus. There could be a reason for that. You could also say, I cannot focus because of something else, but it doesn't imply that. So in this situation, you would have to translate the passive voice as can't, or it wouldn't really make much sense in English. Okay, just to clarify before we end, I'm not saying that you have to translate passive voice as can't. This is just one way that it can translate. For example, the verb that we just did, 찍히다, can also mean to be taken. So you can drive your car too fast and your photo gets taken by a speed camera. So it doesn't have to translate as can't, just it's one way you can translate it when something doesn't make sense otherwise. Okay, so was this topic helpful to you? If so, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Also leave a comment if you have a suggestion for a future topic you'd like me to cover. Most of the lessons in this series are actually questions that I've received from viewers like yourself. So I do check all of those comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.